This Sheryl Swoopes stuff is crazy. Caitlin Clark got people ending lifelong friendships because of her play. Mind you, she hasn't said anything. I want you guys to keep in mind, like, through all these Caitlin Clark situations that come up, she hasn't said a single thing. Like, she hasn't done anything wrong. All she's doing is putting belt to ass on the court. She hasn't said nothing. That's why people got so much respect for her. All the drama surrounding her name, she's never said a peep about anything. She doesn't cause any of the drama. It just happened. This is the first tweet I saw on this thing, right? So it said, it's confirmed Sheryl Swoopes was supposed to call the Fever game yesterday, but because she cannot act like a professional commentator, she was replaced by Nancy. Swoopes has some vendetta against a 22-year-old girl who has done nothing but revere her. Her legacy is tarnished, even beyond her college coaching career. When I play this clip, don't think of how Caitlin's playing now. Think of Caitlin in college before she even proved herself.
Will Caitlin Clark be a good pro? Absolutely. Will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now immediately? Absolutely not. Not gonna happen.
Okay. Not on the right team.
I said, think of this prior to the way Caitlin Clark's playing right now. Now, initially, that wasn't a bad take. At that time, I probably would have agreed with her. Like, nobody expected Caitlin to be doing this. Nobody expected Angel Reese to be breaking all these records, right? So, at that time, it was a great take. It's her actions after the fact that made it bad for her, that made her come off like a hater, that just made things worse. This is like one thing people brought up. So this is Sweet's comments back in July. She was saying that she doesn't know if the Sky are in the playoff picture without Angel Reese versus the Fever being fine without Caitlin. I'm gonna play the clips.
If Chicago's in the playoffs right now without Angel, is Indiana, excuse me, is Indiana in the playoffs right now without Caitlin? I don't know.
Last year, no.
Well, but they were close, right? But when you look at the overall team, like the pieces that they have, without question, Indiana has better players than Chicago from top to bottom.
Two things she did wrong here, right? So you're putting down Sky players to uplift, Reese for Rookie of the Year at that time. And then two, you can't say like they were close. They didn't make it. It's either you made it or you didn't. No one cares. You know what I'm saying? It's either you made it or you didn't. You can't sit here and be saying that, oh, well, the Fever, they would have been in good shape without Caitlin. That's just not true, bro. She's a centerpiece for the Fever's offense. So I don't agree with that statement. People are like looking at her comments as coming off as hatred, and she's just making matters worse. Then you got this comment that she made, and she's talking about, this is like a comment from Caitlin back in college. People are bringing it back up.
If it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player said it.
Okay.
Right?
Like, what are you talking about? No, you don't. Like, you see what all right, that's one. I don't agree with that as well.
So if Kelsey Plum said
even look at Gilbert's. Gilbert doesn't even agree with that shit. Look at Gilbert's face.
That record in 4 years. Well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
Now, this was Nancy speaking on her friendship with Sheryl. I don't know what Sheryl said to her on the phone over that conversation. It had to be some really fucked up shit, for her to be spilling shit like this. But even if I'm on bad terms with you, bro, I'm never gonna do nothing to jeopardize how you put food on the table. I'm just not that type of person. I'm sorry. I don't agree with this move she made, but I understand why she did it. This is gonna hurt Sheryl for other opportunities.
Since she was in college, I helped do her shoe deal with Nike in 1993, took her to her first ESPYs. I've known Sheryl, I've coached her, have a lot of respect for her. I called her when Caitlin was still playing at Iowa, and she had just broken Maravich's record. And it was all over the place, as you and I have discussed, that, there was this quote by Sheryl that said, Caitlin was, 25 years old, Barbara, 24 years old. She was a fifth-year senior. Right. She was taking 40 shots a game. Her records were illegitimate. And I got off the treadmill and I called her as a friend. I said, you can say whatever you want. You can have your own opinion about anybody. You do have to get the statistics right. I mean, facts matter. If you just get ahead of this and just say, hey, I made a mistake on my numbers, then this thing is over and everybody respects you for your opinion. It's okay to have difference of opinions. Well, she got upset with me on the phone, and I was like, Sheryl, I'm not doing anything to hurt you. I'm just sharing. We're talking.
You see, and that's what I'm saying. You can't share that. This is not the type of stuff you can't share that on a platform a massive platform like Stephen A. You know what I'm saying? Now that hurts her for her next opportunities. I'm gonna show what Sheryl did after this, which made it worse for her.
And so our relationship it pretty much is not happening at this point. I tried to talk to her at the Final Four.
Right.
She didn't want to talk to me. My life's going to be good or great with or without Sheryl Swoopes in my life. I'd rather have her in it.
Sheryl leaked these texts, these messages to her and Caitlin Clark, and this is like, I don't know, this is how it came up. You're not supposed to be posting no messages, bro. Like, that's just some shit you don't do. She said, "Hey, Caitlin, I wanted to personally reach out to you and say I made a mistake on what year this is for you. COVID year has me all confused, LOL. I also have nothing but respect for you and your game and appreciate your skill. Congrats on everything you have accomplished thus far. Be blessed." Caitlin took the high road. Said, "No worries at all. I really appreciate you reaching out. There's no hard feelings. I appreciate all you have done for women's basketball and for inspiring girls like me and building the foundation, the platform we have today." Great response. And she said, "You're very welcome. I really appreciate you and your game. You're taking it to a whole new level. Keep being great. Have a blessed night." And she said, "You too." And I'm sure Caitlin has never said nothing bad about this lady publicly. She agree with this tweet that went up. So someone said, "Caitlin accepted his dry ass apology and still shouted you out on SNL in front of millions of people after you said she 25 dominating 18-year-olds and you still on goofy shit every day. First, you get online, you post messages just to save face, right? And I understand what Nancy did. She should have never like said all that extra shit. That I don't agree with her doing that. Like I don't know. I just don't feel like no matter how you feel about somebody, you don't ever fuck up how people put food on their table. It's just not right. It's bad karma. Online, you post in private messages just to save face. And then like it's just contradictive. Like you said one thing, you did this, now you're trying to say, oh, I'm not, whatever. And they both had their stuff on both ends. I just don't understand what's so hard about showing support to somebody who's doing right by the game. Like, I'll understand if Caitlin was out here like arrogant, you know, talking crazy on the media, like trying to like act like she's bigger and better than everybody else. She's never done nothing bad publicly. Like she's doing all the correct stuff. The people who came before her, she shows respect. She's not shitting on nobody. Like she could easily come out and be saying reckless stuff or like, yeah, this person did this or whatever. She's not doing none of that. She's been humble, just doing what she's supposed to do, going about her day. I don't understand, like, what's so hard to support? Like, how's it hard to support somebody like that? Like, I just don't understand it. Now, for Nancy, I don't agree with Nancy going on Stephen A. Smith and talking about a private conversation they have. That's some shit you don't do to somebody, even someone you once considered a friend. You just don't do that type of stuff because now you ruin her opportunities for future stuff. And on Sheryl's end, sharing messages with Caitlin, that's some shit you shouldn't have done either. Has had her moments where she shows how she's hating on Caitlin Clark. I think they both made their mistakes, but I think it's going to affect Sheryl more than it's going to affect Nancy. I mean, it is what it is. It's life. It's how it goes. But regardless, if she wasn't showing hatred towards the girl, she wouldn't even be in this situation to begin with, in my honest opinion. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. And as always, it's your boy.